I'm gonna be wrong. I think California area.
Yeah.
And so they essentially just do all these walks to be like, hey, we're people, we're human beings, like we're not animals, like the way you've been treating us, like give us rights, like let us unionize farm working, like migrant workers. And it's like fucked up because literally they knew that in their lifetime they would not be able to do it because of literal racism. Like they knew they wouldn't be able to do it in their lifetime. But they did start a whole movement. There was like thousands of people. It was like on par with like this civil rights movement, like with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King actually like worked with them. He like
For migrant workers.
yeah, he like acknowledged them and was like essentially like I appreciate what they're doing for like their people. But anyways, I'm sorry, I'm getting into details. I was just trying to finish, I swear. That
So what class are you taking? Like, why is it about that?
so I'm taking a few classes that are kind of about the same thing, which is really cool. So the one that's not about anything is just like a film class. It's film noir. It's like black and white film. It's like a specific thematic type of film from like the late 30s to like the late 50s. It's like a really short era of film that was like super specific. But the other one, so I'm taking a popular Latino culture class where we talk about a lot of stuff. It's a lot of modern stuff, but also a lot of people like to talk about the history of why things are the way they are. Like I just finished writing a freaking essay about how like telenovelas to this day are whitewashed as fuck, you know?
Oh yeah.
And how like literally we grew up watching these fucking novelas that I always thought all these people were Mexican. And they're literally
They go
like
pick 'em up
Colombian, they're
yeah.
fucking from Spain, they're dude. Teresa is French. She was born in France. Esther told me. I was like, what the fuck, Don Francisco is not Mexican.
Which is dumb because there are a lot of white-looking people in Mexico. Like Jalisco has a ton. Zacatecas has a ton. Like seriously, but you could just get white-looking people from Mexico.
Don't want Mexicans, and it's like, how the fuck are you gonna have not Mexicans and like, I don't know, like it's not Mexican media specifically, I guess, but it's like, I don't know. Anyways. Essentially it's like, oh gosh, I'm gonna rant about it now, but it's like they're super, like they don't like short brown people, even though that's literally what was here and what white people conquered and did their shit, and now we're here, right? Like, do you know, have you heard about the movie Roma? It's on Netflix.
No.
Oof. So I don't really know what it's about, but it's like, I don't know if you've seen her. Her name is Yalitza Aparicio. Maybe if you see her, hold up. I just gonna look it up. Roma Yalitza. Okay. So it's this girl. Have you seen her at all?
Yes, she was in a magazine.
Yeah, yes. So, okay. So, it's literally the first time I can remember in my lifetime seeing, like, an indigenous-looking woman. Like, a woman looking like, how do you say that in Spanish? Like India, right?
Yeah, there's a lot, because even, like, in Mexico, there's, like, a lot of, terms that I'm not sure if that's what they like being called. Like, where my dad's from, they call them huicholitos.
Huicholitos?
Yeah, and then in Chiapas there's another word for them, but there is like Chiapas has got like a lot more.
Yeah, well no, I can definitely see that being words, and I think like there's probably a lot of words that aren't okay. Like I guess I always like grew up thinking or hearing like, what did I just say? Indios? Is that what I said?
Yeah, Indios.
Yeah, I don't think that's like a proper term.
Yeah, I think that they're, especially like on the radio, when my aunt worked for the radio, they will start like calling each other like indio de pata rajada,
Oh my god.
or something about like eres bien indio and something. And there was like a big conversation about that. Like, why should we be offended? Like, why should that? I don't know.
Well,
just like
I don't.
bajado del cerro or something like that. That's supposed to be like.
I don't know the
you just,
history
like-
of that, but I guess I swear I keep trying to finish this out and I keep ranting about other shit. But so the main point of the thought I was getting at, I guess, is like we like to think that all these things are like in the past in history. Again, like why, like maybe even that, like why are we offended by these quote unquote old terms that have nothing to do with today? Haha. But really, again, it's not that old. Like it's literally people's parents, right?
Yeah.
To this day, it's literally people who are still alive. Like I said, so Dolores Huerta, the girl that was working with Cesar Chavez is dead, but she's still alive. Like this girl who was fighting for fucking farm working Mexicans to have rights and not be treated like literal animals. She's still alive. Like, and she's not like some old like granny like she's still fucking functioning. Like it's not that old. Like these things aren't that fucking old. People like white people have just like learned to adapt and learned to like give people not rights but like in a smarter way. Again with like making communities like, oh, you have to have a certain amount of money to be here, like to live here, and you know how like anyways, that's a whole other thing. Anyways, so the reason people will do marches and stuff, like the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King and all the marches that, you know, with black people specifically being like, stop fucking treating us like literal animals, like we're fucking humans, like we work and like we fucking serve in the war, we're dying for you already, like stop literally killing us for no fucking reason on the street, like, and that's actually what Latinos did too. They like walked out of high schools and stuff to be like recognized. Like it was like a whole ass movement. Like it was a thing. And what do white people do when that happens? They start fucking killing people. They start fucking beating them with the little fucking police sticks. They start shooting people. Like it's terrible. Oh, there's this terrible video of someone recording like the police. Sorry, not the police. They're called the what are they called? They're like called that like the LA walkouts of 1960 something, when all like the high school kids were walking out of their high schools, because teachers treated them like shit, because they were like, dude, you're a fucking Mexican kid, you're not gonna fucking keep going to school, like, so why should I put my effort into teaching you, like, essentially, and that's what they told them to their face. Like to girls, they'd be like, you're gonna fucking be pregnant by the end of this year. Why am I gonna try to fucking teach you when I could be teaching the white kid who's gonna go to college and get a career? Like,
I feel like Jaime had a story about how a teacher in Grandview told him that.
Dude, literally someone told that to me. To my face.
Look down.
I was like a senior in this dumbass fucking math class. It was like for dumb people. I knew that. So I didn't really try. I just like did my work. I was quiet.
Didn't you and Ed didn't you guys meet in like high cap classes or whatever they're called? Like, didn't you guys meet in like? Don't you guys all know each other because you were the smart kids?
Who you guys?
Like my sister and you. Weren't you guys all in like pre or what is like?
Regular English class actually. It was just a regular like what everyone has to take English class.
Oh,
we just
I'm trying to think.
Annoying fucking people in that class that we just like gravitated toward each other. I'm like not even kidding. Like the teacher had to move us to the front of the class because we wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay. This whole time I thought you guys met because my sister had all these IP classes. That's what it is.
Yeah, I didn't have those till like later. Like I literally like failed all of my classes my first fucking year of high school because I was a stupid bitch and I didn't care. I wasn't dumb. I just didn't care or try. So I just literally failed because I was like, I don't care about any of this. But then I like took all those classes again, like my sophomore and junior year. It was kind of embarrassing now looking at it because I was like older, like I was like a year or two older sometimes with these like little kids taking it for the first time, and I was just acing everything. Like I would get over 100% because I was like perfect at everything I did. because I cared at them. Anyways.
You decided you cared?
Yeah. I was like, dude, I can't do them. I'm sorry. I swear. You know what? I'm not sorry. We're talking.
Well, I don't even know what you're apologizing for, so.
I guess I was trying to apologize that I keep ranting when I'm trying to finish a thought, but I'm not sorry. These loose ends are just me coming up with more interesting things, I think. But what I was trying to say is that all of this like oppression and stuff is still happening to this day. It's not old. It's not like so when people try to tell you like, oh, that's like before, like, or why should we be offended by these old words that don't mean anything? Like they do mean things. They have historical context, and that's why they like that's the difference between racist and prejudice. Like I am prejudiced towards white people, but there's nothing I can say to white people that's going to do any harm to them. I can call white people crackers. I can call them colonizers, whatever. It literally does them zero harm, right? But then they go around calling people the N-word. They go around calling people wetbacks and whatever the fuck they want to call people, right? And it's like those words mean things because of historical context. Because they bar us. They keep us from getting into colleges. They keep us from getting into these high-paying jobs. Like, they have power over us to this day. And that's why those words mean things.
And even as you say that, me that has experienced a lot of like racism, like I'm in some sort of blissful denial. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure there's an exception.
Well,
I'm sure
so
that you could.
That's also a thing to do with us, like Latin people specifically, is that there's a lot of this, because technically speaking, we are white. Like, I'm like, it's like I'm learning to accept that, and I hate it so much that it makes me want to cry. Like, literally. But, literally, like, we're white. We're fucking colonized by fucking white Spanish people.
I don't think that I could ever be white. Like, look at my skin color.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like, we're not white, but we were colonized by white people. By white Spanish people. Like, so that's why, like, a lot of us are not literally short and, like, brown, like, again, I'm sorry, I don't know what the word is. Like, I'm just gonna say indigenous people, like little Indios, right? That's why we don't look like that, is because that's why I'm so fucking tall and my skin. It's because I was colonized by white people. Like, my people, whoever this were raped and, like, murdered, and literally here I am, right? And it's weird because a lot of people, they try, because it is confusing. It's confusing to try to be like, do I, like, try to fight against these people? Or do I be like, I mean, you know, I'm in this in-between where I have advantages. And do I try to, like, oh my gosh, you know who's the worst? Fucking Tejanos. They're the worst fucking Mexicans. They think they're, like, purebred Mexicans, but also they're, like, white people. Literally the worst white people. They're conservatives, fucking Trump supporters, like, but also they think that they're, like, the original Mexicans. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you're a fucking dumb fucking white
They
bitch.
say words like the roof, with el techo, la rufa.
Yeah. La rufa. Yeah. But, no, yeah, so it is complicated. I mean...
I've met, like, 1 or 2 Texans that were cool.
No. I mean, I'm not saying obviously all of them are like that. It's
No,
like
most of them.
Older people, I would say. Because they have that pride to them, and it's like, again, I've been learning about the history of that now, and I'm like, dude, Tejanos have been fucking white people the whole time, like...
Yeah, just shoot someone they see walking towards the border.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, but do you mind if I rant about that now? So, no. I didn't know, like, my mom, I grew up, and my mom would always talk shit about Tejanos, and I was like, what? Like, I don't understand what makes them Mexican different from us Mexican. Like, what is a Texan Mexican? Why is that different from, like, a Californian Mexican? Or, like, a Washington Mexican? Like, or a Mexican Mexican? Like, I don't understand. And she used to always say, like, they're the worst.
Themselves. They're very different.
Yeah. She would always tell me that they, like, had to stick up their ass and they thought they were better than everyone. But I was like, I don't understand why. Like, you can tell me that, but it doesn't make sense to me. Like, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
that doesn't mean
no,
anything.
and me, I have personal experience. Like I'm married, Texan family.
Esther mentioned that. Fuck, I forgot his name. I hate myself. Don't tell me.
Okay, well, don't say it. You're on camera.
Isaac's father.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I literally forgot his name. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not important.
Oh fuck! Wait, you're recording? You're just recording my rambling?
Yeah, it's interesting. Don't worry.
Cool, I love it. Okay, so I still haven't finished what I was trying to get at. So all of this is to say that white people created America off of slave labor, off of literally black people fucking slaving their lives away and dying. Literally. Indigenous people, native people. Also, Mexicans did that. Oh gosh. Oh, that's one of the things I had to like.
Oh, that's yeah.
I had to.
Recently, and my dad looks white, and my grandpa looks brown. It's really weird, and that's really my rant. Like, okay, so I grew up like accepting all of the, and even recently, literally like during the pandemic, there was a bunch of like realizations like shit, like there is actual hatred.
Yeah.
There is actual people like dying. It's not lovey-dovey, oh, prieta. It's not
Yes.
like...
No, it's not.
And
People
it was...
hate these people.
It hit hard. Like, especially because very recently I started working with some... Like, one of my coworkers, she's like half white, I think. And then another one, I think her family, she has like maybe Hispanic family, but she's very white. And it's weird, like the way that, like listening to her talk the way that she did, and having like how everything that you're saying, and like she had this like passion and like hate for the white, you know, you can't say capitalist, right? Or what?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they asked me, like, one of them asked me something, like, about, like, oh, and I was like, oh, yeah, like, my grandma looks white, my grandpa looks dark, like, there's all these jokes in the family, like, I'm black to the bone.
Yeah.
And there was, like, my cousin would make up songs about being black to the bone, and my grandpa's constantly teased, like, it's that environment.
Yeah.
But within the family, it doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah.
Like, so my cousin, I have a lot of family that looks black, like Jenny. And so her siblings, some of them looked white, some of them looked black, like teased her constantly, all the time. She was never teasing them about looking white.
Yeah,
but they were always teasing her about looking black, to the point where like her nickname was Nigga
Yeah.
And it was like funny.
I do remember that, yeah.
Like funny.
Yeah.
And now you think about it, and it's like, that's horrible.
It is
It's
horrible.
not accepted.
No. Because it's like even jokes like that are like, you know that white people have these same nicknames for people? Like, okay, so I dated one white guy ever. And his stepdad was like, it was weird. Like, this is what I keep finding out about people. They're progressive about certain things. Like for example, white people will accept gays, and they're like, you know what? I'm okay with having a gay son. Like, fuck, yeah, dude. Like, I will accept that. I will be a loving father. But also, fuck black people at the same time. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you choose what you're gonna be progressive about? Like, that shit is so fucking wild to me. Like, so me growing up like gay as fuck, I always just was like, okay, I am obviously this minority like kind of person that's always talk shit about, that is seen as less than, that it's like a vulnerable person, right? So I am going to look at people who are like me, whether it be black people, whether it be Native Americans, women, like, and I'm going to look at all these people as equals because I see that we're all out here fucking struggling. And so that's why I like have this equal thing where I've just grown up looking at everyone as equals. Like it's literally just how life should be. But like that's why I think of it that way. Cause whatever. Anyways, so this like white guy I was dating had a stepdad. And I remember we went to like Olive Garden one time.
Olive the Garden?
The Olive the Garden. And he was talking about sand N-words. Sand N-words.
Sand?
Essentially like Middle Eastern people. Quote unquote
Oh.
terrorists.
Oh.
Sand
What?
N-words. And that's what people do. They'll just fill in blank N-words with whatever they want. There's so many slurs for like Native Americans, like indigenous people, like little indios. Again, that's probably not the right word. I'm so sorry. But literally like that's what they call them. And that's why it's like, I don't know, that's why I can't laugh when people like make these jokes. Like, I don't know. Like I don't like it.
I know.
Because it's like, oh, you think you're just making a little joke, but really you're making a joke that has historical context of people being literally fucking murdered and ruined their whole life. Oh god, that goes back to what I was trying to say at the beginning. So, again, these systems are built up to keep us oppressed and to keep white people on top. Literally, like, all of America is built on these foundations. It's literally, there's a word for it. It's called systemic racism. Like, the fact that jails, for example, is all, like, people of color. It's all black people. It's all Mexicans. Like, specifically black men. Specifically Mexican men. Like, obviously there's white people in jail. Obviously there's women in jail. Like, obviously, right? But these systems were put in place to keep, like, people down, like, and I don't say this just because, like, I feel this way, but because there's historical context. I can prove that to you with things that have happened. The people who built jails, for example, like, there's literal proof, right? And that's what pisses me off about everything, like, the most. That's why I get so mad, like, genuinely upset, when people say, like, oh, like, yeah, when she tells me, like, oh, I think that's just people, like, being, like, butthurt, and they just need to, like, pull themselves up by their bootstraps and, like, work hard, and, like, this is America, like, you can do whatever. It's like, dude, literally you can't. Literally everything is built to fucking put people of color down. Like, literally everything. Like, you know, fucking doctors to this day, like, will not treat black women because they think black women are dramatic and they're lying about their symptoms, and then black women die because they won't get treated. Like, so many, like, there's literal, like, so many black women die during childbirth because doctors won't fucking take care of them. You know, they botch. Oh, I'm getting heated. You know, they botch. How do you say when they cut the dick skin off? Circumcisions?
Yeah.
They botch black kids' circumcisions on purpose? Anyways.
Okay, refine box again.
They fuck it up on purpose. They fuck up the circumcision on purpose.
So they cut off their wee-wee or what?
No. Just, I mean, I don't know how it's done. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. But there's been like a thing on Twitter where black men are talking about like their circumcisions and how it's a thing. Like, doctors will fuck up their circumcisions on purpose because racism. Anyways, so this all goes back to saying, like,
I just, like, okay, so this is horrible, but I just picture, like, a horrible behind-the-scenes episode of, like, South Park where they're, like, laughing about
dude,
this.
I hate South Park. It's not funny. Like, I don't understand how, like, I liked it when I was, like, in middle school because I was stupid, but, like, I think they just recently put out a new episode, and there was grown-ass people being like, oh, it's so funny. And it's like, dude, they're not even, like, being funny. Like, because there's a way to talk about these issues and be funny. Like, Sunny in Philadelphia, like, they make fun of white people. They make fun of racists and people who are homophobic and people who are transphobic. They make fun of people like that. Like, that's what the show is. But these people aren't making fun of it even. Like, they're literally just like there's literally a scene in this newest South Park episode, right? where it's like, because you know how they're little kids, whatever, so they're in class and they all have little glass shields in front of them. Which doesn't mean anything because all their fucking classmates are next to them, right? You know, because COVID, whatever. They think they're being funny. And one of the kids, you know, Cartman, right? He like starts coughing